On today's episode of Titus and Tate, the Tate haters are absolutely disgusted. It is a terrible
All the
day.
haters. Not even
All
just
the haters,
not even the taters, you know? All the haters.
Tate Stradamus back at it again in conjunction with Crystal Balls.
Yes, together.
Emoni Bates is officially going to Memphis, we think. Did he actually announce it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was announced because he had an email address, and then I think the internet, they all came together and they said this guy is at Memphis, and then he said yes. But wasn't he?
He was originally going to announce Friday.
Friday, yes.
Yeah, and then it kind of like
no, and then Shams broke the news.
Broke the news after you broke the news.
That was already broken 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I will say, from moving forward, when someone tells me something that I know there's no way they could be lying to me, I'm going to report it, like, chest out.
How do you
report it chest out?
Here's a question. Here's a problem we're running into as a show. How do you provide a scoop? Like, is it like a transfer portal that you have to like go to the transfer portal and submit the info? You have to fax the information into a
well, see, I don't want to be a scoops guy because then I don't get the scoops. You know what I mean? It's like it's a conundrum because once you're the scoops guy, people are like, I can't tell him anything. He's gonna scoop it.
Once you want it, they don't give it to you.
Exactly.
But if you don't want it, they give it to you.
This is my dating life. This is how I treat it.
Emoni Bates is going to Memphis. We're going to talk about it. Memphis basketball is back. This time we mean it, folks. Penny Hardaway they've won the offseason. They've officially
100%
officially won the offseason.
Yes.
Apologies to UCLA, Gonzaga, Michigan.
And had we not called them out and said that he had to be enrolled in classes by this date, I don't think it happens now.
Would he be committed? We don't know.
We don't know.
We have no idea. So we're gonna talk about Emoni Bates, and we're not gonna do it alone. We have Chris Vernon coming on the show.
Wow.
Our friend from the Ringer. He's still there. We don't hold him. We don't hold that against him. But we used to work with him at the Ringer. He does the show with KOC, and he's a Memphis guy through and through. So we had him on the show to chop it up with us, talk about Emoni and all things Memphis basketball.
Yes.
Ton of fun.
Yes.
One of the most fun interviews I think we've ever done.
The best of times. I produced Chris Vernon once upon a time. Jim Cunningham produced Chris Vernon once upon a time.
I have been in a room with Chris Vernon.
You played Topgolf with Chris Vernon. Actually, you did it because it rained, but we almost played Topgolf.
But I've been out with Chris Vernon, which is like a lot of work in some ways. So Verno joined us. A very Emoni Bates heavy show. We got some other stuff to hit. Like maybe we'll talk the
Brad
Alliance.
Calipari. I think we have to talk about that.
Brad Calipari. Yeah. We might save that for shoutouts and closeouts. But the meat and potatoes of this show, folks. The Emoni Bates saga might be over, but we all know it's not. But this is the latest chapter coming up. But first,
Woody Durham.
all right, Tate. I'll just like defer to you. I mean, like this is another Tate special. Like what's going on here? You kind of touched on it at the top there that you don't want to be a scoops guy, but
I'm not a scoops guy.
You're also providing a lot of scoops. I mean, all jokes aside, you have had the two biggest scoops maybe in this offseason.
No, I want my first Duffy. I think as I've been thinking about it, I've never won a Duffy. I am a journalist. We have an award,
That's
excellence
right.
in journalism.
That's right.
And every single year, I get snubbed by the Academy right in my face. They're like, "This is not a journalist. He has done no journalism this entire year. He's just bullshitting the entire time."
And our listeners, I think it's easy for them to forget because we don't necessarily give off a certain vibe, but like you are the journalist in the operation. I do not have a journalism degree, and you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that I have in the background.
Like this is real. This is This is real to us. It's still real to us. Damn it.
And, over the past few months, people have been, telling me things that are high level, and they think that, look, this guy's going on the air. He's just joking around. No one will believe. I'm the boy who cried wolf. You know what I mean? And I'm usually on this show talking and people say, no way, can't be true.
Yep.
No way Coach K would have a farewell tour. Bang, it happens.
Yep.
No way Emoni Bates, who has preached loyalty to Michigan State and to Tom Izzo, there's no way that he would go to Memphis in the 12th hour.
Right.
Guess what he did, folks? I'm not saying anything other than I got to put my chest out.
Yeah.
I have to report these scoops as a full-on journalist. But then also I don't want to do that.
But you want to, you gotta use this. You gotta be smart about this because you don't want to dilute the product. You don't want to like be thrown
I could
out.
be done because when I did Coach K, I will say I was going to ride that for the rest of my career. That was it. That was one. I was one and done. That was the big scoop, and I'm out. And then Emoni Bates fell into my lap.
Yeah.
And so I had to report that. And now I don't know what's next.
Well,
in the words of Drake, what is next?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Drake's future stepson.
Well, I think the next overtime commit could be coming to me, and that could be what's next.
The reason we're not spending a lot of time talking, we're not starting the show talking about Emoni, we're talking about Tate, is because if you do listen to the show, you know that this wasn't a surprise.
No.
We talked to Crystal Balls, we talked to Tate Frazier, and he said Emoni to Memphis was happening, and it did. And I'm always like, I've tried to dabble in the scoops game. We know this.
You have scooped things.
I've scooped things from time to time.
Yeah.
I've, there's other. I think Brad.
You don't have the journalism degree, but you have the journalist pedigree because you worked at Grantland.
Oh, great point.
Yeah.
I worked at Is Grantland bigger than the University of North Carolina's journalism department?
I
think
don't
it might
think
be.
so.
I don't think so.
I think it might be. I think some people would say that on the internet. Yes.
But Brad broke me. I'm going to be honest. The Brad Stevens to IU stuff broke me, and I think at that point I was.
See, that's what I'm scared of. I don't want to get. I don't want to get
broke me.
brought into this whole scoops game like that.
I got absolutely broken. So I think moving forward from that, my lesson I learned in that is like, let's just, instead of trying to get into the mud and get into the muck and figure out the scoops, we got to pull back more, Mark. Like what we have to do here is get out of the game completely, become a 13-year-old child again, where like you take everything at face value.
Yes.
Emoni
Bates went to Memphis because he loved the color blue. That's what you
think. That's how I had to think. So it's fun in a lot of ways. Like I'm a little more ignorant. But there's also like
that's bliss.
It provides a lot of surprises, like Emoni Bates.
Yes,
he decommits from Michigan State, and I go, whoa! I guess he's going to the G League, and then he announces he's going to Memphis, and I go, whoa!
Can we talk about the G League for a second? Because there is a chance that Emoni Bates could be, and you and I talked off air. He could be the first one and then done. Because again, he cannot be in the 2022 NBA draft. Yeah, not a 2 and done, but he could do 1 year at Memphis, 1 year on the G League Ignite team, and then get drafted #1 in the draft. Which it might be the craziest climb of all time.
Yeah, because he's not eligible for the next draft.
No, he has to be 19.
Which I don't know how we missed that. Or
I don't know how America missed this.
Yeah, so it was like, what I mean,
he's at Memphis for 1. But he has to be there technically for 2 years.
Or at least
there's no way he'll be there for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right?
So what's he gonna do? We're gonna get the Emoni Bates decision
again.
2.0 again.
Yes.
After this season.
What if he goes to Michigan State? He transfers. Transfer portal. That's what I'm thinking.
I want to talk about the Michigan State part of this because to me this is like far more interesting than Memphis getting another 5-star. And spoiler alert: Penny Hardaway will get more 5 stars.
Yes.
He will do more of this 11th hour type stuff.
I call it the 12th hour. I think it was over.
The 12th hour.
I think it was over. I mean, classes had started.
That's
it was
true.
past.
Who's paying the fee? That's the next journalism we got to do.
Chris Vernon.
Yeah, Chris Vernon.
At the golf course with Penny, he's like, "Here's $100.
You give this to Emoni Bates.
Go Tigers."
I want to talk about the Michigan State part because I'm a Big Ten guy, so I think I find this more interesting. The Big Ten once again has finished second.
Yeah, where does the Big Ten go from here?
In a national race, the Big Ten comes up just short, but second place, very, very solid.
Very
second
respectable.
Place. If you're the reason I think this is more interesting to me is because is Tom Izzo broken? Do you think? Where do you think Tom Izzo? What do you think his feelings are this morning when he wakes up and he's got to now go to practice, and now as the season progresses, he's going to turn on his televisions and see Emoni Bates wearing another college basketball uniform. Because when he decommitted from Michigan State, I think it was.
Everyone thought it was G League.
Yeah, it was like an okay pill to swallow because you're like, it sucks he's not coming here. We were hoping there was a chance.
But he's not a college basketball kid. That's what
I remember when he committed, like even Michigan State fans were like, it's great. It's good for the brand of Michigan State that like we get this moment in the sun or whatever, but I doubt he's going to come to campus. But like, that's cool. We're still excited for him, whatever. So when he decommitted, I was like, there it is. Like we thought maybe we could keep him, but he's going to the G League. That's it. For him to go to Memphis. That's a betrayal. There's no other way around it. That's a bomb. Yeah. That's a betrayal the likes of which we rarely see in the sport. And I said like a few weeks ago when we were talking about it, like God, we've been talking about money for a while. But I think when he originally decommitted from Michigan State, we were talking about what's going to happen next and all that. I thought if he commits to another school, Tom Izzo is broken. This might be the end of Tom Izzo. and I mean that genuinely, where like he's going to coach this season, like this whole these are the types of things that break Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo is a very old school guy. Tom Izzo, as we know, in the last few years has, during games, grabbed Aaron Henry by the shirt and yelled at him, and then like it becomes a whole national discussion about whether Tom Izzo's an asshole. And he's like, "I'm sorry, what? You loved me when I did that to Mateen."
And then Draymond Green comes out and says, "That's just basketball. Get over it."
He's like, "I did that to Mateen and Morris Peterson. We won a national title," and everyone's like, "Izzo."
They're like, "Did not see that. I was born in 2000."
Yeah. So this feels to me, that's what I'm worried. I just want, Tom, if you're listening, we love you.
We love you.
It's not your fault.
No. Never has been.
The game has not passed you by. It's just this is a different game. That it's the game is still the game. It's just like there are other games now.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yes,
you can still play your game, Tom. You still know your game well. It's just there's more games involved in the game.
How much longer? I mean, that's the question. How much longer is Tom Izzo going to play his game while these other games are taking over the game?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I know,
and that comes down to Stephen Izzo. I feel like when Stephen goes, his father may follow.
I think the part that would be frustrating too, if I'm Izzo, I think I've said this before, is that this all happens, and if this happens in 1995, everyone's like, Emoni Bates is a coward. Emoni Bates, like, or they're killing his dad, and a lot of people are. I've seen a lot of fans that are like, I'm already kind of over this guy, whatever. But by and large, the media, we don't do that anymore. You can't do that. You can't like really criticize. A kid makes a decision that's best for him. It is what it is. And Tom Izzo, I think, like, if this happens 20 years ago, the first press conference he does is he, like, throws some shots at... Like, Mick Cronin did that with the kid that went to the G League, right?
Yeah.
Knicks?
But he did it more at the NBA
it was
than
more,
the kid.
Yeah, but it was more... Like, he didn't even do it. He kind of just, like, mentioned it, and people were like, what an asshole, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
like,
even you and I were like, Mick, that's not the move. You know
and he was
I mean?
right. He was absolutely right, you know? But, like, that's the climate now, and I think if you're Tom Izzo, that's the part that would kill me. It's like, how I'm right. I'm not the asshole. I'm right, and I can't say I'm right. I have to let other people say I'm right, and they're not saying I'm right. What the hell is going on
There's a chance. There's a sliver of a chance that Tom Izzo, at some point in a Michigan State, local beat reporters only type press conference, he throws something out there, and it may get picked up on Twitter, and he may understand that that's going to happen, but he may throw like one shot.
Self-sabotage Tom Izzo would be interesting too, where he's like, run it. I don't give a damn what happens next. Just run it.
Yeah. He's like, I know I'm not supposed to say this, but it's unfortunate to me, you know, and then he goes into...
It's like the cousin of the sorry if you're offended.
Yeah. No offense, but, and then you say something offensive, it's like, I'm going to take offense to that.
I take full responsibility, but it's not my fault. So that's where my mind went immediately, was Tom Izzo. I hope this doesn't break him. I hope we still.
I think he's okay.
Yeah, I think.
Like you said, he never really believed Emoni Bates was going to ever wear a Michigan State jersey.
That's true.
Deep down.
But it does sting more. Like if, God forbid, Memphis ends up playing Michigan State for some reason this year, it would have to be in the tournament, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to schedule them.
My next expansion of as we have all the conference expansion that's going on, I'm hoping that the G League tries to add Memphis. That's what I'm hoping for. Duke and Memphis and Kentucky have all been. The NBA has reached out to them to be a part of the G League.
Yeah, Memphis,
and they're considering it.
I mean, can we get Memphis in a power conference first? I mean, for God's sakes, that would be Memphis is the team to do it, because that's that Memphis.
They have football too, if you're the ACC, Big Ten, Pac-12 Alliance, whatever they're calling, I guess is the Alliance.
Yeah, we've locked in the Alliance. I don't love it.
I hate it.
If I'm being honest, calling it the Alliance.
I hate it.
Just call it the Union. It's right in front of us. Like the whole the war of the two.
And especially the way that people have talked about it. Every single, if you watch college football live, it was really funny. It was like Kirk Herbstreit and the whole team, and they're talking about, the alliance being formed. And every single one of them, they're like, I'm a little shocked the ACC's here. I'm like, all right, guys.
The Alliance just makes me think of Star Wars. Is the Alliance a Star Wars thing?
I mean,
is it the Rebel Alliance? It
makes me think of Arrested Development. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of
the Office.
Yeah, exactly. There's been a ton of alliances in throughout history, but this one is not very specific. It also seems to be very confusing for people as they try to figure. It's just a scheduling alliance at this point. We will play each other.
The alliance is officially unofficial, is what we've learned.
And it's a handshake deal.
It's a handshake deal.
Which is insane.
No one knows what it means. It can change day to day.
And the three commissioners, did you watch the Zoom press conference? I watched 5 minutes of it. each one of them, like, they had their own individual stage and their own individual, like, message. You know what I mean? Like, as they went to Kevin Warren and they went to Jim Phillips, I was like, these guys seem like they talked one time, and they all left with different vantage points of, like, what's ahead. And then they're like, yeah, we didn't draft up anything. All handshake deals.
Those three guys seem like dudes that would, like, all take a photo op picture of them three trying to all shake hands at the same time, too. Three dudes.
Like crumpled up hand. It's like the hand from Scary Movie 2 is somehow in there.
They're just trying to figure it out. All right, so let's talk about Memphis a little bit, what this means. Memphis brings back 3 starters. They add Duran. They add Emoni Bates. Memphis, we should say, and we'll talk to Chris Vernon about this. Memphis has not been to a Sweet 16 since John Calipari was the coach. Memphis, on the surface, and I understand every Memphis fan listening, everyone who has even the smallest iota of knowledge about the situation is screaming at me when I say this. So I understand that. I'm just saying, on the surface, Tate, the Penny Hardaway era does not look, in terms of tangible results, all that much better than the Tubby Smith era. And I understand there's more to it than that. But that's where we've arrived. Penny Hardaway has been coaching for 3 years. He won the NIT last year.
You're the Tubby Smith media that Verno hates.
Yeah, I know. I mean? I'm not saying Tubby Smith was the right answer. I'm just like pointing out that, like, if you paid no attention to Memphis basketball, you would look up now. It's been 3 years of Penny Hardaway. He's landed multiple 5-star recruits, and you would say, why is this man beloved? Why is this man a god? Why is this man given a key to the city? And Tubby Smith was like, we have to get this man the hell out of here. And the reason is, like, boosters and relations. Like, there's a lot of other stuff bubbling under the surface. But with that, it does feel like the time is now for Memphis. It has to happen.
They won the NIT last year, so we have to give them credit for that. And they have 9 newcomers to this team coming in next year, which I
Take
find.
the Sporkle quiz now.
I mean,
how many newcomers have Memphis
who you got? Like, Chandler Lawson. You got like
Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah. You just got guys coming in from everywhere, and this team is kind of an experiment, so to speak. But I do like that they finally have a coach on the team, which is Larry Brown. They have a real coach, so like he can help finagle these pieces and put them together. And I do hope that Penny has figured out something at this point. I call this his first year, but he's had 3 years of practice. A lot of preseason on the way to the real season.
Yeah.
He's almost there.
I guess, like, it does feel different, but we do this with everything where I can't explain why it feels different.
Yeah, let's shoot it to the moon.
Than James Wiseman and Precious Achiuwa's season, which was an absolute disaster for various reasons.
But somehow that season felt like it was going to be a disaster.
Yeah. Does this one doesn't? Is it Larry Brown? Is it Sheed?
I think it's Larry Brown.
It's Larry Brown.
For me, it's Larry Brown.
But I kind of do
I
this.
know that they have a coach.
What I'm worried is I'm stupid enough to do this with every. I mean, I'm doing it with Mike Woodson. I'm like, this time it's different for IU.
It is different.
I know. I do this with a lot of things. Where I'm like, this time we made it.
Those two situations, I sincerely believe that they are different.
I watch every Texas football coach that gets hired at his introductory press conference, and I'm like, Texas is back. Texas is back.
That's never different. Every single time that Texas hires someone, I'm like, definitely still not. Chris Beard is different. Chris Beard is different.
So how can we figure out? Can we bottle this? How do we bottle this feeling? How do you explain this? If you were to bottle the feeling, what ingredients are you putting on it? That, like, how do we know when it's different and when it's not?
Because one of them is tangible results that are coming into a situation that fits them. Chris Beard, Mike Woodson, like familiar territory. I know what this is. Larry Brown.
Penny's never okay. Larry Brown
knows the American. You got the guy who built SMU into a power in this conference.
Right.
Now coming to run a different team.
Larry Brown knows the American.
He knows the
Print
American.
those shirts, John Rothstein. Rothstein, that's a new catchphrase. Every time Memphis wins.
Larry Brown knows the American. But I sincerely think that those are different situations. But when Mick Cronin came in, it did not feel different until it did.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right. Like Cronin, I didn't. I some people have believed that I mocked the Mick Cronin hire.
No, you were being serious the whole time.
I was just stating that it happened. That's all I was doing. But how do we understand when it's different?
Sometimes it's wait and see.
I feel like this is Malcolm Gladwell's next book. Like, how we know it's different this time or something.
Yes.
He's got I got 17 factors.
Forward by Bill Simmons.
Here are my 17 criteria.
Honestly, checks out. Malcolm, make it. We'll buy it.
Oh man, I don't know what else there is to say. I mean, like a lot of these guys, it is hilarious that Emoni Bates isn't even the number 1 recruit anymore. So like a lot of the 5-star guys, it's fun to talk about. It's fun to speculate. It's all that. But it's kind of like once the decision's made, it's over, and like I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like, now we just have to wait for you to play. Like, I'm not going to buy into the hype and be like, Memphis is a national title favorite. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Now we wait to play the games. I'm excited until you've committed. Once you've committed, the time between you've committed and you play the actual games, I don't care. It's over to me. Mm-hmm. I am like all the other schools that were recruiting Emoni Bates. You're dead to me. I'm done. Like, we'll check in with you when the game starts.
The only thing you really need to know about Emoni Bates is at the age of 15, he was compared to 3 players, 3 different times.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Can I guess?
Please.
Oh, so he's skinny, so it's Durant.
Durant was age 16. He was compared to Durant at age 16, but at age 15, he was compared.
Okay.
So he's had 4 player comparisons in his life.
I'm gonna go. He's from Michigan, and the Michigan State connection. I'm gonna say Magic.
Yes.
Magic's one of them.
Magic is one of them.
I'm gonna say LeBron because that's how you get clicks.
LeBron is also one of them.
This is since he was 15, so this is the last 2 years?
This is when he was a 15-year-old.
Okay.
This was the headline. Emoni Bates, born for this. Magic, blank, LeBron, and the 15-year-old who's next in line.
Because I want to say Zion, but I think Zion can't, like, the timeline doesn't match up.
LeBron is the youngest of this trio.
Yeah, okay, so it couldn't be MJ.
It is MJ, yes.
Oh, my God.
Magic, Michael, LeBron, and the 15-year-old who's next in line. And then the next year, at age 16, he was compared to Kevin Durant. So his 4 basketball comparisons, again, Magic,
and
Michael, LeBron, and Durant.
Class.
And he's number 5 in the class. Let's talk to Verno, because I want to hear.
Is Chet Holmgren literally Jesus Christ?
Yes.
On a basketball court?
Yes.
Like, what is...
Yes. Is Jalen Duren in front of Emoni Bates? Because that would be even better if Duren's, like, rated higher.
I love this stupid sport.
It's so dumb.
I have no other thought. Let's just talk to Verno, see what he thinks, because he's far more. He's
also the Memphis whisperer. You know what I mean? He's got boots on the ground.
All right, let's talk to him. All right, joining us now is a true friend of the program, a former colleague. He is the host of the Mismatch podcast with Kevin O'Connor on the Ringer podcast.
I still call it the Ringer NBA show because that really is the Ringer NBA show, but I like the Mismatch too.
His name is Chris Vernon, and the reason we're having him on is because he is he would like you to believe that he is the king of Memphis basketball media. And with Emoni Bates committing, we had to call our Memphis guy, get him on the show. And Verno, give us a vibe check first of all. What is the vibe in the city of Memphis right now?
It seems on 400 right now.
Yes, on 4 million. I mean, because look, people are already excited about the Grizzlies because of the way they ended the season, knocking out the Warriors and then playing in the playoffs, and John Morant having 40 in a playoff game, and so. Yes. Everybody was already geeked up for that. And then these last couple of weeks of Memphis Tigers news, really the last, 2 months, because people got pumped up over the Larry Brown thing.
Yes.
People got pumped up over the Rasheed Wallace thing.
Yes.
And then obviously Jalen Duren and Emoni Bates. So it's just been like good news after good news for Memphis basketball fans. It's just the idea, that in the FedEx Forum, one night you're going to go see John Morant and Jaren Jackson and that group, and then the next night you're going to go see Emoni Bates and Jalen Duren and that group. Is crazy.
Verno, we want to break down the entire Memphis experience because Titus and we always like to figure out who wins the offseason. And I think it's indubitably Memphis has won the offseason.
Memphis has won, yeah.
So let's start here. We talk about Memphis basketball. We group things into new bloods, blue bloods, and true bloods. And I feel like with the Memphis Tigers, I wanted to ask you, Verno, where you think you guys fall. Because I could hear the argument for a blue blood. You have Larry Brown. You have Rasheed Wallace. You have, the past, a great past. A blue blood past.
Tate loves calling programs that have won 0 national titles blue bloods.
I'm just saying you have blue blood DNA, Verno. So I wanted to ask you first and foremost, who is Memphis? What are they? Are they a new blood? Are they a blue blood? How do you feel about this? Where do you stand?
I mean, I would certainly, if you don't want to call them a blue blood because they're not a Power 5 school, right? I don't know, is Gonzaga? I mean, Memphis made a Final Four in 72, 73. They made a Final Four in 84, 85. They made a Final Four in the 2000. I believe the 90s is the only decade that they haven't made a Final Four. Now, you could say that those banners don't exist, but those teams happen. Those teams happen. And so you've got to, 3 different decades where they have gone to Final Fours. I mean, they've won a lot of basketball games. They've been a very good program for a very long time.
One thing that happened, though, this offseason that I think is being lost in all this now that Larry Brown joined the staff, Rasheed Wallace joined the staff, the two recruits, as we know.
Yeah, I love that the recruits are secondary to Larry Brown and Rasheed Wallace.
I mean, Rasheed Wallace was the biggest get. I mean, that is the biggest get. Let's not make no mistake about this. Rasheed Wallace.
Cut the check.
And Bonzi Wells coaching in high school. We know he's involved.
Bonzi's close. Bonzi's
we know
by.
Bonzi's involved somehow.
Hold on. You know, they are going to live together. That's
and
true.
they have a podcast together, so it's amazing.
That's true.
Yeah,
Bonzi
That's true.
And
in fact, yes, and I have actually petitioned for them to. Zebo still has his old house here, which is like a monstrous mansion, and I'm like, there needs to be Rasheed Wallace and Bonzi Wells living in that mansion.
Yes.
Coaching college basketball, and like there'd be a full reality show.
Oh
yeah, we need
God.
3-6 Mafia to pop in there too at some point. I mean, that's full Memphis.
What I was gonna say though, what was lost in all this is for a moment in time, we being like those of us that are trying to make content out of nothing.
Yes.
Thought Penny Hardaway might try to take the Magic job. We thought that was a thing that might happen. Penny says, "I'm not interested. I'm staying in Memphis." I kind of scratched my head. I thought if the Magic won him, obviously he should have taken that job, right? And then he's flipped it on its head, and now he's doing all of this in Memphis. So my question, Verno, as a Memphis guy, because I think a lot of the rest of the country looks at Memphis and probably says like, why? Like why? What? I don't get it. What is it like? Why? Why are guys like you so passionate about Memphis? All that stuff. What is it? I guess like what? Answer that question for people. Why is the city of Memphis, as you said, losing its mind? Why is there an NBA team in Memphis? All those questions that you have to deal with constantly.
Yeah.
Explain it a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's a great city, and it's got like Memphis is much different than many other cities in that it's got a real soul, a real heritage, a real character to it. That is unlike a lot of cities. And so with that comes, kind of the chip on the shoulder, us against the world kind of attitude. There's so many unbelievable things that have started in Memphis or taken place in Memphis over the years. And then basketball wise, it's an amazing basketball city. It was always a great prep city. And then you have a great college basketball team. As I said, no matter which decade you grew up with, if you grew up in the 70s, you saw a Final Four. If you grew up in the 80s, you saw a Final Four. If you grew up in the 90s, Penny Hardaway was playing for the Memphis Tigers. Yeah. And then in the 2000s, obviously you had the Calipari run there. And so for so many years, they were, I used to say that Tiger basketball was still the thing that cut the deepest because that was like a family thing. There's generations and generations of Memphians that have gone to those games, rooted for those teams for so many years. And so that it's almost impossible if you live in the city for it to not infect you and for you to not care because there is a true passion. There is a true love. And it's the water, it's what they talk about. It's just part of the culture here in a way that I think it's not really part of the culture, especially in a lot of bigger cities, because Memphis isn't a small city. It's a small market in regards to professional sports, but it's not a small market according to the rest of the country. I mean, it's one of the top 50 for many, many years. And so I think it's part of living here. Basketball is, and I'll be honest, I got it immediately when I moved here. I've been here 20 years now, but even in the early 2000s, I would go to like, say, two high schools here, Ridgeway, White Station. I would go over to the games because there were some big recruits that are coming out. And you would see Penny Hardaway and you would see Elliot Perry and you would see Cedric Henderson. Like the guys that played in the NBA, they were back and they were like in those gyms and they were watching it as fans because they just love basketball. And there's always kids that are coming out of Memphis that are highly, highly ranked. Always. It's a great basketball city for prep basketball.
That makes sense, Verno. But I wanted to talk to you about Penny Hardaway because you mentioned him being at all these high school games, and obviously he had his own program. And we've been waiting for the moment where we celebrate Penny Hardaway, where we say, this is the year of Memphis. It was supposed to happen with Wiseman. you know, we had the Tubby Smith exit and then him take over, and we kind of just said this is the seminal moment. This is when it's going to happen. This feels for real. This feels like, you know, people are talking about top 5. Now we got people talking about, you know, Final 4 potentially this year. So I have said to Titus, we should celebrate this as Penny's first year. In my mind, this is his first year at Memphis. Do you agree with that? Do you think that we should all just forget the rest, forget everything else other than Wiseman going number 2, and just focus on this is the first year for Penny Hardaway in Memphis?
I don't think we can. Look, I promise you this: nobody around Memphis is going to make it the first year. but because, I mean, look, those seasons ended with disappointment. Now, I contend if that thing would have played out, after seeing Wiseman in an NBA uniform and then seeing Precious Achiuwa in an NBA uniform, I mean, I defy anybody to tell me who was going to go up against them. When you get to the NCAA tournament, it's ridiculous. If they really would have played that out.
Iowa would have given them
Iowa. If they would have played that out. And so I don't think I think it's going to be a blip on the radar. In the end, there's a lot of expectations with all these schools. But, by the way, he took over crap. So look at all of these guys. It is very rare for somebody to take over a program and win big immediately. Most all of these schools take 3 and 4 years before they get to where they're going to get.
But where are we at as a fan base? I'm going to let you just speak for or where are we at as a city, I guess, with the expectations in the sense that Penny Hardaway has won off the court a lot. He's won he won this offseason. He's won the vibes. He's won the hearts of the city. He has not won an NCAA tournament game. In fact, he's not even made an NCAA tournament. So
it's his first year. What do you expect?
So where do we stand with that? Like if I look up in January and the Tigers are in 4th place in the American.
Are you serious? 4th? Wait. 4th?
Verno, I mean, at some point.
Well, hold on a second. Do you have access? I know you're California beach guy now, but tell me you still have access to YouTube? You do. Yeah. All right, I want you to type in Emoni Bates.
Does it bother you? Does it bother you at all that Emoni Bates, like 6 months ago, was the best recruit since LeBron, and now he's like 5th in the class? How did that happen, Verno? What the hell?
He reclassified. No, they reclassified him, right? So they put him in a different class now. All right, that's number 1, and number 2, these guys are idiots.
These guys are idiots.
Like, I mean,
you're right.
Watch it. Watch him.
But in all honesty, Memphis, you still care about winning, right? Because like I guess that's what I'm on your side, but I just want you to say.
We care about winning.
Okay, that's what I want you to say. That's all I wanted you to say. I just want to make sure this isn't a situation where you guys are just trying to win the headline game and win the offseason.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
Verno,
basketball.
Verno, it's been a long time.
Go to YouTube.com. Type in Emoni. Titus. Winning is not going to be a problem at all.
Cut that clip, Jim.
Are you serious? Emoni Bates and Jalen Durden, if those two play uninjured on this team, oh, God, you are not going to have to worry about winning.
And Verno, you brought up when they play or if they play together. And the real question that we have now is we have to ask the elephant in the room, and that elephant has a box and it says FedEx. So what is going on with this situation? You mentioned the FedEx Forum. Are we worried about the NIL implications here? Because some people are trying to throw stones at the program and say that FedEx and Memphis worked out some sort of arrangement for these guys to come there. Are we worried about this? Because Titus and I, we refuse to let this happen again.
No, it's legal now, right?
No. Yeah, okay. All right, number one, the whole, like, idea, like, oh, could have been a setup in advance? Like, what are we talking about? Like, everything has been set up in advance since the beginning of time. Number 2, now, look, people got to understand this, and everybody thinks of it like, oh, well, this kid's going to that school. He must have gotten all this kind of money and from the school. And, yes, it's on the up and up. But the truth is this now, guys. These kids can make money off their own brands now.
Yes.
Like, that's the important thing. And Emoni Bates, he's been on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Emoni Bates has been on the cover of Slam Magazine. Emoni Bates started an Instagram page less than 8 weeks ago and has over 400,000 followers already.
And climbing.
Emoni Bates could put a T-shirt up on Instagram that says Emoni, and that's it, and make 50 grand tonight. Like, the other thing is this, like, who's to say Nike can't drop the Emoni 1?
Yeah,
you know,
that's what we're saying.
Like, look, they're still making foam posits. He's playing for a guy who's been a brand endorser for what, 30 years now?
Yep.
For Nike. And so the idea that, like, oh, what did FedEx or what any company did or what anybody did for these guys, like, when you're famous like these kids are now, when you're as big a name as they are now and have been for so long, money is, if they want to make money, they're going to be able to make money. And I'll tell you this, people need to shut the hell up about all this stuff if they love college basketball like that. Let me tell you this. Let's say the NCAA, who's obviously had a hell of a time. They spent millions of dollars to get their ass kicked in a courtroom already, right? Okay, let's say you want to fight it. You want to look into it, right? You want to punish Memphis. You don't want to put them in the tournament, which is the only thing you make $1 billion off of, right?
Yeah.
You think the next Emoni Bates and Jalen Duren are going to play college basketball?
Right.
Like, this was a huge win for college basketball.
Agreed.
Like, I understand if Memphis isn't your school, and so you're upset that he didn't go to your school. But the fact that he went to college instead of the G League, instead of going overseas, instead of doing overtime elite, instead of doing a myriad of other things, the fact that you were able to get the best player, because I think it stands to reason, you know, a couple years ago, you know, I would have thought like somebody like Zion Williamson, who was already famous in high school, he would not have gone to college. Certainly not the way it was set up. I mean, they just had a situation where Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga got paid $500,000 to go play where they did. Jalen Duren, who was going to Memphis, was offered $1 million to play in the G League this year.
So how much did FedEx pay? That's what we're asking.
I have no idea. I hope they gave him a plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope they gave him a plane.
We love you for this.
I'll tell you this, we still got that plane that we were going to give Calipari.
This is why we love you though, Verno, because you're one of the NBA media guys who is an ally of college basketball. You know, like, you get it.
Oh, I love college basketball.
Yeah.
And I've been upset because it feels like, you know, look, if Overtime Elite's going to pick the 20 or 30 best kids every year, and they're going to pay them $1 million. I read that story the other day about them paying the 40-something ranked kid. He got a 2-year, $1.2 million deal.
Insane.
That's not great. That's not great. And I love college basketball. I always have. And I want the best players to be incentivized and want to play college basketball rather than going and playing.
Right.
I understand. Look, you got to do what you got to do. I'm never going to, if somebody's going to pay you $500,000 when you're a sophomore in high school, more power to you. But I do hope that maybe Emoni Bates and Jalen Duren going and playing for a college basketball team, maybe that could mean good things for the future, that other kids are going to want to go
let's
and play college basketball.
Let's contextualize Emoni coming to Memphis, because this was a massive deal, obviously, but how massive? So I need you to rank these coups in Memphis basketball history. These coups that have been pulled off by Memphis basketball. Number one, we have John Calipari getting Derrick Rose to pass his SAT.
Yes.
Number two, we have Penny Hardaway forming a coup to get Tubby Smith fired and get his ass out of town so he can take his job. Yes. Where he's like, I am the godfather of every great high school basketball player.
Hold on now. It wasn't much of a coup.
All right. So that's number two. Number three is...
Wait. Did he overthrow the 16 people in the arena? I mean, all these media guys that are all buddies with Tubby Smith, like, I don't understand why they don't. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody cared.
All right. Yeah. All right, number three.
Memphis basketball. All right.
Number 3, your third option is getting a kid who went on national television and committed to the school just down the road from him and said, I'm committing to this school because I believe in loyalty. Loyalty is very important to me.
Yes.
And Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans have showed me nothing but loyalty my entire
I will return
life.
the favor.
And I'm going to return that loyalty to then decommit and commit to Memphis a couple months later. Where,
I mean, he's 17 years old. Titus. Come on. Give the kid a break. We're not holding him to the same standard as the president of the United States or something here, right? Who's having a hell of a time himself. 17. He's 17 years old. He went on the recruiting trip. They brainwashed him into. You will be loyal. You will be loyal. You know, they sat him in a room. You will be loyal. They had like a FaceTime with Draymond Green. Loyalty. You know? He walked out there and he's like, all right, I'm going to Michigan State. And he said a bunch of stuff he didn't mean. And then he realized, oh, wait, I'm going to, like, that Michigan State thing, that was free. That's when things were free.
Yeah.
Loyalty has a price. I guess. I don't know. The biggest coup is Emoni Bates of those.
Yeah.
Well,
of those, yeah. Come on, Derrick Rose's SAT, like who cares? And then and Tubby Smith, like, come on, like they weren't. People had stopped going. People had stopped spending money, and that's the killer. Forget the basketball if he didn't get enough time. When your big money people stop spending like they were spending, you can't last.
My last question.
You know? Hey, how's Tubby doing at High Point?
He's killing it.
I think he's enjoying life. I'm not really sure about the basketball, though.
He's smoking a lot of cigars and just looking at the sunset.
They do your laundry for you at High Point. It's a pretty good life.
My last question is, what was it like this year cheering for a team that had both Dillon Brooks and Grayson Allen on it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm going to tell you this. So, Grayson Allen, and this is going to disappoint.
Don't say this.
No, this is going to disappoint you guys. He signed with the Grizzlies, or they traded for him in the Conley deal. And I was at Summer League 2 years ago, and they say, hey, we're going to bring you Grayson Allen. He's going to do the show. We had a studio set up in my room in Vegas. And so Grayson Allen shows up, and I told my producer, I'm like, dude.
Shout out to Roser.
I can't wait. I was like, I can't wait to meet this dude. Like, you know, because I've got all of my, I'm not, no. And I said this to him, the craziest thing. I have never had a perception of someone versus what he was actually like when he was with us more different than with anyone probably in my life. I just knew he was going to be a prick. And he is the nicest, coolest guy. Crazy.
The coolest.
Coolest is too far. Nicest is okay.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. If you hung out with Grayson Allen, you would like him.
What are you talking about the brainwashing earlier? It sounds like Grayson got you on the brainwashing.
Yeah.
It sounds
you might. No. You might.
It was the Grizzlies. They're like, loyalty.
No, you might not. No, I'll tell you. You might not like Dillon. Dillon is like he's like a big man on campus. You know, like he the way he plays is you might find him to be arrogant to you. Right? He's not going to be a prick, but you might find him to be arrogant. But like Grayson Allen is like one of your buddies from college. Like it's bizarre. No. It's really bizarre. I promise you. I didn't like him either. I met the guy and I was like, he walked out. No lie. Roser will tell you. He walked out and I'm like, bro, what the hell just happened? I was like, did we just like Grayson Allen? And he's like, I think we like Grayson Allen. I'm like, golly.
Yeah, delete it. Yeah, don't put that out.
That's crazy. And no lie, like he was all fine, everything was good, and then he almost like got in a fight with Grant Williams that night. and Dan Dockich was like, he used to do this at Duke, and he was the worst at Duke, and whatever. And then I seen Grayson that night, and I was like, yo, man, I'm sure you got a lot of texts about Dockich. He was murdering you on the broadcast, right? Because, I mean, it was way over the top, killing him. And he's like, bro, that is so messed up. He's like, when we played Indiana, I like had to do a thing where like, you know, you meet with the broadcasters beforehand, and Dan Docker's like, man, I'll tell you, I think you get a bad rap. You get a bad rap. Like I've watched those plays back.
That's Doggage. That's Doggage.
And he's like, and then he's like just straight shitting on me on national TV. Like he told me that I was like they were doing me wrong by talking about what a dirtbag I am all the time.
Oh my God.
And then the second he got a chance, he's like, he's been like this forever.
He's like, I know the kid personally. He's terrible.
By the way, whatever happened to that dude? Did they ban him from Twitter for life?
Oh God, don't get us
I hope
started.
so.
We're the wrong two guys to ask about it. We're gonna go down a rabbit hole with that one. Oh man.
Understand.
So how do you justify? Because there was a moment in time when Grayson was his senior year at Duke where he was doing the press tour.
Yeah.
And him and Kay were getting in front of like his senior year, and they're like, he's not a bad kid.
Yeah, it was
he
a
just
revenge
made bad
tour.
decisions, whatever. And I just remember thinking like, there was a moment in time today where I almost believed him, where Grayson himself was almost like, I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I'm tripping people.
Yeah.
This is all like I don't like this about me, but it keeps happening. But then he like kept doing it, and I don't know how to reconcile that. I do. This how do we reconcile it? Help us.
Because it's Duke basketball.
Right.
That's what he was taught.
All right. No, I don't know if you got you got your little dig in. Do you guys not have friends that have like a horrendous temper?
Yeah, of course.
I have a friend.
Play golf with them.
No.
Yeah.
No. Oh, I have a friend that has a horrendous temper. Like we were playing he is, no lie, the nicest guy on earth. Really. Like, I mean, I would do anything for him. One of my best friends in the world. We played in a church league basketball game. We were all old, chubby, had no chance of winning, and we were getting killed. And he went up for a layup, and he got his ball, and the ball got like swatted into the wall. And he thought he got fouled, right? And he ran up to the wall, and he just punched it as hard as he could. And he like damn near broke his hand, right? And I'm like, what are you doing? And he gets so mad. Same thing. I've watched him break 7 golf clubs. Like he just flies off the handle. Like there's something that happens, and he's just got this crazy temper. And I think that's what I think that's what Grayson has. Like I think that 99% of his life, he's probably just a regular, normal, nice guy. And then something triggers it, whether it's he thought he got fouled, or somebody pushed him, or
Coach
somebody
yelled
at him,
Yeah.
or he's on the ground, or he's missed a bunch of shots, and he just he loses it momentarily. And I don't think it means that's who he is. I think he's got a horrendous temper. Yeah. And I say that as someone I was just around him for 2 years and never saw him lose it. Right? Yeah. He's obviously gotten it in control, but I mean, maybe he went to therapy or something. I don't know.
He wants it too bad. That's what you're saying.
I mean, the defending champs wanted to sign him, so that's something good.
Maybe he smokes weed now, right?
Christian Leighton,
right?
that's what you got to do. Yeah, you follow the path.
Oh, anything else, Dave?
Bit, you know?
What else we got to hit?
The only thing
when are you guys coming to? No, when are you guys coming? That's
a great question.
Oh, I told we got connects now. Tate's got the whole everyone on the coaching staff is a North Carolina guy, and I told you that Verno, the new strength coach in Memphis. I went to high school with him. I played football with him. And I was texting.
Unbelievable.
Texting him, so we're gonna come down. They got reasons to come.
I know that non-conference they play a monster game against Alabama. That'll be a good.
That'd be a good one. Actually.
Memphis, Yeah, Memphis, Alabama is. I know that's a big one. They played Tennessee, but they're going to play that in Nashville.
They play Virginia Tech early, right? They play Virginia Tech like in Mohegan Sun.
Well, I think that it's in a tournament. Yeah.
But
so Bama's in one of those.
Bama's at home though.
Yep.
Oh,
yes.
We should go to that. Yeah, that's the game. We'll go to that game. We want to be in Memphis. Right? I don't want to be like in Brooklyn watching the Memphis Tigers. I want to be in Memphis.
Congratulations, Verno. Last time we had you on, I think, was you guys get second pick in the lottery.
And you wanted John Morant. Yeah. You were so excited. You were like, I wanted him over Zion, and we were like, calm down, Verno. But you might have been right.
I didn't say over Zion. Hold on now. But I did say I wanted him badly because I thought he could be a superstar, but B, my wife went to Murray, and so we were the ones watching those games on ESPN Plus, right? And so I had an awareness of him that was atypical, just because it was like, oh, that's where she went to school, and they're awesome this year. And I heard Durant, the first person I ever heard mention Ja Morant on like a big outlet he was on with Simmons in one of those pods he did with him at the beginning of the year. Yeah. He asked him about college players because he does that Durant Nike camp. Yeah. And he was like, he said, I like the guy at Murray. And I was like, wait, hold on now. There's some guy at Murray. And so then once I got to watching him,
Bill's like, and Tate, who's that? And I'm like, Ja Morant.
Yeah, Bill was like, I love him too. Yeah, that's my guy. Huge fan of his.
He loves Morant too.
Verno, we love you. Thanks for coming on. This is would you say though, finally, that this is the pinnacle as in your 20 years in the city of Memphis, as it stands today?
No.
The Emoni Bates committing. Is this the city? Is the city the best spot it's ever been? Is this the healthiest?
No.
Between Ja Morant and Emoni Bates and Penny Hardaway and Rasheed Wallace? No. What's better than this?
It will wins. And
nice.
I would say number one, the most the city's ever been on fire was the Final Four in 08.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
The Derrick Rose year. I mean, they lost one game that whole year. Yeah. And then they lost the national championship, of course, in like the most awful fashion in the history of sports. Yes. And then the Western Conference Finals. Yeah. When the Grizzlies went to the West Finals, that was, and really a lot of those like core four moments with Conley and Gasol and Zebo and Tony Allen, like the city loved them so much that they lived and died. And like that really set that year. I mean, I used to do radio show back then. And I mean, the radio numbers that we were doing when the Grizzlies made the Western Conference Finals are just, I mean, they are impossible. The whole city cared. Whole city. And the same thing went in 08. I mean, when they went to the Final Four, that was in San Antonio. I was down there for it. And that was, the Derrick Rose year was just insanity.
Is Mike getting his jersey retired someday? He definitely has to, right? Yeah, okay. All right. I just want to hear someone else say it. Yeah. All right. That's all I needed.
Yeah, and I think it will certainly be. In fact, he was here just like a week and a half ago, I believe.
Oh, really?
He still comes around. Yeah, he still comes around quite a bit.
Yeah.
And obviously he keeps up with everything that's going on. He told me last time I saw him that he has never gotten rid of the Grizzlies app. He can't do it.
Wow.
He can't bring himself to do it.
That's loyalty.
Yeah,
that is loyalty.
Show that to Emoni Bates.
Show that to Emoni. This is what loyalty.
Those guys, like, and I think that's why those guys really loved it here, and they feel like they built something that they're extremely proud of, and that they, like, those fans that like now are like going to college, they grew up and that was their favorite team, and they built that thing. And so
people forget the Grizzlies were up 2-1 over the Warriors in 2015, right?
Man.
In that series, you guys were up 2-1.
And Mike broke his nose or something, right? Or that was
No,
well, let's just say that happened.
That was a different.
But let's just add it together and say that they were supposed to win. That's what you do in the NBA. Whenever you don't win, you say it's because of injuries.
It's injuries.
Yeah, that's all.
And he didn't break his nose; he broke his face. Friggin' CJ McCollum's bony elbow.
That's right.
Yeah, terrible.
Well, Verno. We've been busting your balls, but in all seriousness, we love you. Thank you for coming on. And I genuinely do believe that Memphis will this year be good enough.
They're our favorite soap opera in basketball.
They will. I genuinely believe this. They will be good enough to win back-to-back NIT titles. I do think so. So
hey, Titus, they're winning the national championship.
Hey, it's the natural progression.
Hey, record this. Save it. Keep it.
Jim,
Memphis
do all this.
is winning the national championship.
Go
to YouTube.com and type in Emoni Bates.
Hey, Verno, you get 2 years of Emoni Bates, too. You get 2 years.
2 years?
No, we don't. What are you talking about?
I'd be lucky to get 2 months.
Yeah.
All right, Verno. Be good, man.
All right,
thanks,
guys.
Verno.
Thanks.
Man, I love Chris Vernon. I don't know what else there's to say.
Yeah, you and I, we just laugh at him. You know what I mean? And it probably, for the listener at home, they're probably like, what is so funny? Why
it's his face.
Yeah.
That's what's fun. Like when you're doing a Zoom call.
It's his passion.
And his face is right in front of you. It's hard not to just start.
Yeah.
cackling.
He's in his man cave. He's so serious about Memphis sports. You know what I mean? And it's so pure that you have to love it. And then also Verno is just a character in general.
When we were setting up the interview, Verno comes on to Zoom. We're talking to him, making the small talk, whatever. We're about to start rolling. He's like, wait. And he gets up and disappears for like 3 minutes. And he comes back into the room carrying a massive penny.
Yes.
Like the currency, like a circular.
Yes, it wasn't Penny Hardaway. It was
copper,
the actual copper penny.
But then Penny's fate, kind of like my shirt I'm wearing. The copper, it's hard to, I realize it's hard to describe. A big circle and Penny's face right in the middle. And he's holding it up. And that is... And
it says, "In Penny we trust."
Yeah.
Instead of "In God we trust."
We're like, cool, Verno. Yeah. So I just had to get the vibes right for the.
He's like, I wanted to have little Penny, but I left it at the office.
I bought it on. I know he said he bought something on eBay and it's still on the way or something.
I mean, he's got all the Penny.
He is also. I realized he has become the opposite of Rutherford. Like Mike Rutherford must be listening to Verno come on and just be punching the air.
Yes, that used to be me.
No. Every time something good happens with Memphis, like they draft John Morant, we're like, let's get Verno on and celebrate.
Yeah.
They get Emoni Bates, like, let's get Verno on and celebrate.
Yeah. We're full celebration mode. We're already talking about going to a game. Like, I'm sure they're gonna win that game, and Verno's like, I told y'all.
And then with Louisville, it's the exact opposite with Rutherford, which is anything bad. We're like, Mike, you come on.
Yes.
So anyway,
we
Verno,
love you, Mike. We apologize.
Yeah.
It's not on purpose.
We're still waiting for something good to happen.
He was upset we didn't invite him last time to talk about all of the fallout. He did. He reached out. He was like, I really would have liked to come on that show. You guys got so much wrong, and we're like, next time.
That's what we do best, baby.
Next time.
All right, let's wrap it up. Shout out to Closeouts.
Shout out to Brad Calipari. He is officially joining his father's staff. Again, earned, not given, but he is going to be an assistant coach or basketball.
A lot
ops.
of turtlenecks coming to the bench at Lexington. I picture
turtlenecks and chains
and plaid jackets. I picture plaid jackets, a Jesus piece over a turtleneck.
Yes.
And that's the vibe.
Do you think there's a chance?
Pinky rings, diamond pinky rings.
I love pinky rings.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a chance that John Calipari, with his lifetime contract, can extend that down to a generation?
Oh.
Can he pass it down to Brad? Could Brad just take the throne from him in Camelot?
What if he fudges?
Because that's how kings work,
dude. What if he fudges the language in the contract, and it's like he just gets rid of his first name? Just Calipari.
Could be Megan. Could be Brad.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is, if this is in fact Camelot, as Rick Pitino said.
Yes.
Then
Calipari has stolen that line, by the way. He called it. This is the thing. Kentucky fans tweeted at me that he called it Camelot. Also, John Calipari did.
That's
infringement. That's cease and desist.
I'm pissed off if I'm yeah. Because that was all jokes aside. That's like a pretty. I've never heard anyone else call.
Apparently, Kentuckians call it. They call it Camelot.
I've never heard anyone call another place Camelot. I've never heard I've never heard someone call their time playing for the Lakers like it was like I was at Camelot or and people look back fondly on a lot of things, and I've never once heard someone say Camelot other than Rick Pitino talking about coaching at Kentucky.
Well, now Calipari.
Well, there you go. All right, Brad Calipari.
Lexington, Kentucky is Camelot, and Brad Calipari will be there.
I want to talk about. We buried the lead on this show because I think this is all over mainstream news, and it's all. It's probably we don't have CNN on in the studio, but I'm sure they're talking about it. Huge news coming out of China. The Chinese state-run media is now reporting that the
I don't believe this is true.
That the coronavirus did not in fact originate in China.
Yes.
Rather, it originated at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill.
That's what they're saying.
This is a real story.
They're literally pointing fingers at the University of North Carolina.
The Chinese government is literally blaming.
We are the fall guys. They're trying to make us the fall guys.
Here's my question. Defend yourself. Not a question. Defend yourself.
Honestly, I don't even know what to say, but when I saw that story, I thought it was like an Onion type article, I thought it was a joke. I thought the kids at the Chronicle at Duke made a funny joke. And then I saw that it actually was a real thing that was being discussed. And they mentioned the mutation labs at North Carolina. Mm-hmm. That's where things were getting genetically mutated, and that's where this strand was formed. I don't know how they know so much about the University of North Carolina. I think that's good for the brand, but also this is not good for the brand.
I bet the NCAA doesn't do anything about this either.
Of course.
Disgusting.
Of course.
Disgusting. Do you think this story coming out and Coach K's retirement tour starting right at the same time is a coincidence?
Coach K is huge in China. Huge in China.
China is spelled with a K.
Yes, exactly.
K-H-I.
Literally. I think that's the marketing campaign from Nike. Kind of reminds me of the Derek Jeter with the 2 in the middle of respect. You're like, I don't think that works, but you let it happen. I don't know what to say to this other than it wasn't us. This is a very shaggy. It was a very shaggy moment. It wasn't us. If you're gonna pick a school, pick Duke. You know what I mean? Like America hates Duke. Why are you gonna pick us?
Oh man,
that's not good.
That's too bad.
I hope that we didn't do this.
I also wanted to shout out. What else do we have? We had a Pac-12 update, right? The shoots. Is that how you say it? The shoots, the beer.
Yeah, I think so. The draft beer.
The shoots beer is the official craft beer of the Pac-12. What does this mean, Tate? What is this? This feels like a Pac-12 move to have a craft beer. Like if you're to pick a power conference to have a craft beer sponsorship, it's the Pac-12, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But Jay Billis, who we love on this show, and we adamantly defend at all times, he came out, called out the Pac-12, said this is a conference that was talking about shared rights and shared values in the collegiate model. But again, he said it's not about the money in jest because they're doing this big deal with an alcohol brand.
So he's arguing that the players can't do alcohol deals, but the conference can.
Yes.
Are we worried about Billis, man? I feel like he's a little lost at sea now.
Is this another Titanic reference?
No, dude. I can't get behind this one. Like, I can't get behind, like, I don't know. I just, read this and I'm just like, who cares?
There's no way that he's that upset about this.
That's what I mean. It feels performative.
It is performative.
The other ones weren't performative because I was like, yeah, do this bullshit that players don't get paid and these other, like.
What is I got to go to work? What are the Jeezy tweets?
I know, but I'm a Billis guy. I'm a Billis guy.
As am I. But we have to let the man dance. If the man wants to dance, you got to let the man dance. And he wants to dance.
I just think
he wants to dance on the grave of the NCAA. And who are we to say that he can't?
We need a brand reassessment with Jay, where we have to we as a community have to figure out where he goes from here, and because I don't think this is it.
Should he go from Jay to Jason?
He needs a new crusade because I don't.
Or Buzz.
Just Buzz Billis. Buzz Billis is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Buzz Billis is good.
What's the buzz?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Buzz Billis, and here's today's buzz.
Welcome to the buzzer.
And he's on Twitter. He's doing TikTok videos and he's hitting a buzzer.
That's what I'm saying. That's the Gen Z model.
Alcohol. Don't like it.
Yeah, it's like a Snapchat show.
All right, moving on. Other West Coast Pac-12 news. Damian Lillard, famous Pac-12 basketball player for the Portland Trailblazers, just recently said that on a speaking of one of those social media sites I don't really know how to use, was it Instagram?
Yes.
That he was on? He was Instagram. You know what I'm talking about? Where he was asked if he's leaving PDX.
Oh, yeah. It was Instagram Live. Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not. He said, I'm not leaving PDX.
Yeah.
And then he said, not right now, at least.
Yeah. He is.
What do we think about that?
He is.
That's a great way to say it, too, because, if he does leave literally the next second, he's still right. He's still right this second, I was right. Right now, no, I'm not leaving. But in 10 minutes, yes, I'm going to finalize that contract. And
I mean, just here's your next scoop. I'll get ahead of it. You tell me when the Ben Simmons for Dame Lillard trade is going to happen, because we know it's going to happen. We know that Philadelphia. We know Philadelphia knows that they have to put a shooter next to Joel Embiid to continue to contend. They were the number 1 seed in the East last year. They're not going to be able to match the defense that they're going to lose with Ben Simmons, but that's why they haven't traded him yet. But at the end of the day, they need a recipe to come together. Disgruntled star who can keep them in contention, who's a shooter that they could put around Joel Embiid, and Dame Lillard. Could be Bradley Beal, could be Dame Lillard, but all signs are pointing to Dame. And I think Dame's camp is formally in the camp of I will go to Philadelphia.
Are you reporting this right now?
No, I'm just telling you.
All right.
But
you
tell me, I'm tired of Ben's upset. He's going to hold out. I'm tired of Dame Lillard said this about Portland. We know that this is inevitably going to happen unless there's another star that gets disgruntled. That's what basically Philadelphia right now is waiting for the next disgruntled star, because they're saying to themselves, Dame is not 1-to-1 with Ben. We'd rather keep Ben than trade for Dame.
Okay.
But eventually, as the season gets closer, they're going to someone's gonna have to give there, and somebody's gonna have to make a decision. Either Ben's gonna make the decision, I'm not gonna get fined every day, and I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna try to mend this relationship with Doc and Daryl, which I don't think he's gonna do. And if that's the case, then we trade him for Dame.
Sounds
So just go ahead and do it. I'm tired.
This sounds an awful lot like a scoop here, Tate.
Make the trade.
This isn't a scoop. This is a.
This isn't a scoop. This
you
is
haven't, you haven't baked the scoop. You're scooping the cookie dough out, and you're putting it on the sheet.
I'm
but
telling
you're like,
you,
maybe you're eating it. You're
no,
not. You're not baking. You're not
Ben
baking
Simmons
the scoop
and his camp have told Daryl and them that he's not going to play in Philadelphia. So it's like, what are we going to do now? And everyone's sitting around like, what are we going to do? And Philadelphia's saying we want a one-to-one talent, and the best talent available is Dame Lillard.
You become a scoops guy.
I'm not a scoops guy. I'm just telling you, make the trade.
I don't
Doesn't
think
it
it works
make
that way.
sense though?
I know you're right,
Doesn't it make
but
sense? Doesn't it make sense? Like if you saw Ben Simmons playing in Portland with C.J. McCollum
Right.
and Norman Powell and Nurkic, team makes sense. If you see Dame Lillard, Joel Embiid, I mean,
I'm just
makes
saying,
sense.
as a guy sitting here across, it makes sense. But as a guy sitting across from you, I see the same twinkle in your eye as you had.
Just make the trade. That's all I'm saying. Just make the trade.
What else is there?
I have to shout out J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is officially.
He's on the golf team.
He's
too,
on the
right?
golf team.
That's awesome.
One of my friends from A&T, he graduated from A&T, but friendly with the program, knows what's going on. Hit me up, told me JR is amazing, such a great guy.
Is he actually good at golf?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
He's shoots like 75, 70. I mean, that's
good enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 over, great. Like the 5 seed on the team, 5, 6 seed.
All right.
But the real scoop is that he's going to play. I think he tweeted this. He's going to play intramural basketball. So we're gonna get
that's so
videos
sick,
of
dude.
J.R. Smith playing intramural basketball in
That's so
college.
sick.
I think this is so great for kids that are one and done to know that you could go back to school and be a part of college life.
I found it. This is the Billis brand.
This is what he does.
This is what Billis does. No, this is the brand.
He plays golf.
No,
at a
no,
HBCU?
I got it. Why can J.R. Smith not play basketball
Ooh.
for North Carolina A&T? If J.R. Smith is enrolled in classes and he's progressing towards a degree, there is no argument, none,
Yes.
that he should not be able to play any sport that he wants. If he can play golf, why can't he play basketball? Because he's been paid for it before? How about Franz Wagner?
How about LaMelo
How
Ball?
about Emoni Bates, who's been paid? How about LaMelo? What are we doing?
Yeah.
If the guy's in school, he's a student at that school, he's fully enrolled, he's taking a full slate of classes.
Yeah.
It kind of goes against my other argument, which is do we need to take classes?
Are we sure about classes?
I'm all over the place. One of those is a winner
Yeah.
though, Jay. You pick a side, buddy, and I'm falling in line.
Just
behind
wade
you.
in the waters. You know what I mean? Just jump in that pool, Jay, and then just start figuring out where you want to go from there.
But it's like the idea I had where I was like, why is there eligibility requirements in terms of or an eligibility window? Why if a guy wants to become a doctor and he wants to stay at that school to pursue his PhD or his MD or whatever, why can't he continue to play 8 years basketball?
Yeah.
It seems absurd to say it like that, but it's like, isn't that the point of college sports? Is you take students that are at the school
Yeah.
and the best basketball team we can make of these students, and if the guy's a student at the school, why can't he play? It
Aaron
makes no
Kraft,
sense.
8 years
Yeah.
at Ohio State.
Yeah, it makes
that
no
would have been
sense.
amazing.
It makes no. I haven't heard a good argument against it. Take that one, Jay. Jay, if you're listening, it's yours.
Jay,
Go.
that's yours.
Forget this alcohol nonsense. Who cares? Go take this one. Run with it.
J.R. Smith, though, we just got to applaud him. We love JR.
We do love JR. My final shout out. I want to shout out my friend Andy Keller, who we reference on the show.
This is what I've been waiting for.
We reference on the show regularly because he listened to the last show where I was talking about. This was a big hit. I couldn't believe how many people like this. I
have your Moses shirt, by the way. It's in my car. I have your
really?
Moses shirt in my car. I brought it today
for my birthday.
From your birthday, which was I think 8
3
months ago.
Just save it for next birthday, dude. At this point, my God. But last show, you brought up Larry Sanders' show, and I talked about whenever I hear Larry Sanders' show, hey now, I think of the time I was watching Larry Sanders' show, and I was at my fattest, and I was eating a sheet cake straight from the refrigerator with disposable forks.
It was great.
Like, it's one
a
of the
beautiful
fattest,
moment.
One of the fattest moves I've ever. People love that. I had a lot of people reaching out like, dude, I didn't realize
we're all deep down we're fat. You know what I mean? Like everyone feels it. Like everyone wants to eat sheet cake, and watch Larry Sanders' show. At the end of the day.
Yeah. And I had a couple friends reach out like, man, I didn't know you're that bad.
You're like, oh,
I should have given you a hug back then. It's all right. We put that behind us. So Keller listens to that.
I just imagine Coach Titus hearing this. He's like, oh, Mark.
Yeah. Buddy, I had no idea.
I wouldn't have bought you the sheet cake.
Keller listens to this and he goes, that's not your fattest moment at all.
Okay.
Your fattest moment, and you have to tell the people what your fattest moment is.
Nice.
And I don't know if this is number one, but this is another one, and I just wanted to throw it out there because this one's definitely worse than the sheet cake, and people seem to like the sheet cake story, so I'll share this one. He reminded me of this. When the Chipotle rewards program started, you could sign up for the rewards program, and if you go to Chipotle, you could buy. You had to spend X amount of dollars, and they had different thresholds. Where if you spend like however much money in 1 month or 2 months, 3, whatever, it was a test run though. Yeah. I don't know if it was nationwide. Columbus, I mean this seriously. Columbus is a test market for a lot of fast food stuff because the demographics are like pretty much the same as America. So it might have been like a test run. So like Chipotle's doing a test run in Columbus. I'm a rewards guy. Like I sign up for it. And if you hit certain thresholds, like one is like you get a free hat, then the next one's like you get a free burrito, then a free whatever.
Yeah.
The ultimate reward, if you spend like a mortgage payment on Chipotle, you get a catered event that Chipotle will for free cater whatever event you want. Right.
That's pretty sick.
So what I'm about to say next, again, I am not. I do not want to have to defend these actions now in my current state, so please don't attack me now.
Yeah.
We're attacking Fat Mark.
Yeah.
I maxed out.
Don't attack any of these marks.
Don't attack.
Celebrate these marks.
Here's the fat move. I went to Chipotle so much that I hit the free catering
They
threshold.
tell you when you got like your burrito, they're like, "Sir, we have to cater it a bit."
I hit the free catering threshold so quickly that I created another email address, set up a different account, hit the catering threshold again, and then so I had two free catering events. I'm
just looking at Jim.
That's already bad enough that I had two. I doubled up like what they thought. All these execs are having a meeting. They're like, "What's the fattest? Make the threshold like whatever."
More. Make it more.
And they kept like bumping up the threshold, and it still wasn't enough. I hit it twice in the same one. So with my two free catering events, I had all my friends over. We had like these big blowout parties, and it was, I'm kidding, that did not happen. What I did was I called Chipotle. And
what are you getting at Chipotle, by the way? Like, what, you're just getting burritos?
Just like a chicken burrito,
Okay.
yeah. Like probably like chips. Like back then, probably chips and guac and a burrito. But like this was like every day. I mean, sometimes twice a day. I'm talking unbelievable. So instead of like using the free catering for friends and family and everything, I call Chipotle. I say, I'm having this big catering event this Friday.
Yeah.
I need all these burritos, and they're like, yeah, what, how do you want to split up the burritos? You want some chicken, some steak, some barbacoa? Like, how do you want to do it? I was like, I want all the burritos to be the exact same. I want them to be this. And it was the order I get at Chipotle. So I placed an order for Friday. I placed in the second catering order for Saturday. I took dozens, like it must have been 60, something like that.
Yeah.
Burritos home with me. I froze them. And then I would sit there and just like eat burritos as like snacks.
Wow.
Where I had, if you came over,
people come over to your house and they're like, I need a little snack, and you're like, I got burritos.
I have like 60 to 70 frozen burritos that I can just post Chipotle burritos that I can just throw in the oven.
Put them in a blender, drink them,
dude.
Honestly, Keller was right. You know what I mean? Like the sheet cake. The sheet cake is not even in the same realm of that
dude, because this is like,
you know what I mean? Because this is like planned out.
Yeah.
This is you.
Yeah.
This is
Galaxy Brain. Like,
and the funniest part about it, and the reason why I think it's the fattest move, is that you've saved yourself the trip and the energy of going to Chipotle. You know what I mean? Like you saved yourself the walking of going to Chipotle, which isn't a laborious process, but in this sense, it's pretty good,
dude.
What was the threshold that you had to hit to get those?
Oh, it was honestly like one. You had to go I would say probably like 4 times a week. So I was going like 8 times a week at least.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you go 4 times a week, you probably spend enough money, or 5 times a week. And I was going every day for lunch, and literally every single day for lunch, and then every other day for dinner probably. Also on top of that.
How many toilets did you go through?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. It makes you think of the South Park Chipotle. You know what I mean? Like,
you know, remember the no, never mind. I'll save that one for off air. But yeah, I have a lot more fat moments. I don't want to tell them all right now.
Yeah.
We'll save them. I'll just
sprinkle them. Yeah, sprinkle them
get
in.
the people to keep listening to this. We might have found a new bit.
Yeah, sprinkle it in. That's the name of it.
Sprinkle it.
Sprinkle it in.
Stretch mark Titus.
That's pretty good. No wonder you have your whole bathroom set up. Now we understand why.
That's why I got the bidet. and
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Yeah,
Now I know why you're a
Now
bidet
you know why I
guy.
have a bidet.
It's because he ate
Yeah.
100 burritos.
Yeah.
And then
How much toilet paper does he get there? Is that where the rainforest all
Yeah,
went?
no, exactly.
Your toilet
exactly.
paper
that was
supply? Holy shit.
coronavirus started. Everyone was rushing on toilet paper, and I was like, I've been doing this for years.
And the beautiful part about this is that now you can run 7 miles. I mean, you're in the best shape
Yeah,
of your life. You know what I mean? This is
thank you,
why
Tate.
these stories
Thank you.
are great stories.
I'll be
you know
back
what I
though.
mean?
Fat Mark will be back.
I mean, well,
He'll be back, yeah.
everyone gets
Everyone
fat.
gets fat.
I mean,
yeah.
that's just
but that's why, like, if I had explained,
that's
to
why I
people,
said we're all fat. You know what I mean? We all know.
like when I see people back home, they think I'm like dying. They're like, "Are you anorexic? Are you like what happened to you? Why are you so skinny?" And it's like, "Sir, I once had 2 catering orders from Chipotle.
like I still have 30
So-
burritos in a freezer.
Like
somewhere.
this is beyond like whatever you had going on. This is beyond like me like trying to make a lifestyle change. This is like I was in a dark place.
I need Keller to rank the top 10 moments, and then I think,
Just have him come on
then
the
we
show.
work through them. You know what I mean?
We talk
Together,
through 'em.
we just talk through them.
We give like a depression rating of like how depressed do you think he was when he did that?
I mean, honestly,
Jesus.
good for you.
Oh man, that's it. Week 0 college football this weekend, I guess. Shout out to that.
I can't believe it's here.
When's Carolina open? Not
Next
this week.
week.
Who
Next
they get-
week.
who- you said this already.
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
At
that's right.
Virginia Tech.
At Virginia Tech. Yeah.
Which is a trap game, as
But
we
you
all
play
know.
on Saturday.
Yeah.
Buckeyes are Thursday. Next Thursday. We're at
Ooh.
Minnesota. I don't
Ooh.
feel good about
See, that's
it,
a
to be
trap
honest.
game.
Trap game.
I
Real
don't
trap.
like. I don't
Bad
like.
matchup. Trap game.
It does feel like those are 2 games that we get later in the year, and you look back and you're like, how did Ohio
Mm-hmm.
State lose at Minnesota? Or how did Carolina lose at Virginia Tech? But
I kind of Ohio
hope
State
not.
has Oregon, especially trap game. We got Oregon a week 2 at home, so
at
it
home,
really is.
that's cash.
It really is a trap game though. We might lose to Minnesota and then beat Oregon. And then,
Yeah,
I don't
blow out Oregon, and everyone's like, I'm confused.
All right, we'll save that for later. Thanks for listening. Thank you to Chris Vernon.
Yes, Verno, we love you.
We love you. Thank
Thank
you.
you
to-
for your story.
to-
I mean, that was
There's more to come.
that was
I don't-
5 stars.
I think that might be the peak, but I do have a lot more fat stories.
Chipotle
for sure.
sponsor the pod. I
Yeah.
mean, are you kidding me?
Well, that's why, like, we had Mikhail Bridges on one time, and he was like, "I love Chipotle." And, like, he was
Yeah.
like plugging shit. Like, you remember when we did that?
Yeah.
And he was like, "I go to Chipotle all the time." Like,
I think he came on the show because of Chipotle.
Yeah, he
you
was
know
like,
what I mean?
yeah, he's
That's
promoting
how we got
Chipotle.
him. Yeah.
He's like, "I go on twice a week," and I'm like, or whatever. He's like, I try to go every day," and I'm like, "Mikhail, my son, please."
Yeah, stop.
Let me teach you
Yeah,
the ways.
I'll show you about real Chipotle. You don't need a bidet at the end of this, son.
All right, see you guys next
See you
week.
next week.